Hello, this is Chris Crawford from Home Pros Academy coming at you with another quick lesson today. And in this video, we're going to talk about why answering your phone is the number one thing to prioritize with your marketing and sales. Okay, so this is where so many contractors, home services professionals get this wrong, okay? I talk to people all the time that say, oh, well, if a customer calls and they're really interested, they'll leave a voicemail and I'm busy, I'll get back to them when I can. That is just the wrong way to think about it, okay? So let's dive in. Let's talk about why. Number one, in your market, there are a limited number of customers, and which means you are in a demand capture industry, okay? If you're a roofer, siding company, window company, plumber, HVAC, electrical, landscaping, all this stuff, like people don't just randomly decide that they're going to get a new roof, okay? There's only so many people in your market that need a new roof or are in the market for that new roof. So you've got to be diligent about your efforts. If you're doing marketing, if you're spending money to drive leads, then you've got to be diligent about answering your phone because you only have so many opportunities of which to, get an at bat, so to speak. Okay. So it's also your first impression to provide a solid customer experience. Okay. Now let's talk about this a little bit more in depth. For referrals are one thing, okay? We're not talking about referrals here. We're talking about if you're spending money on marketing, you're spending money on advertising to drive leads. These people probably don't know you. They don't know a lot about your company, okay? They're in market for your services. If they call you and you don't answer, first of all, that's not a good first impression, okay? Because most businesses nowadays are going to answer their phone and customers expect to be able to talk to someone. And so that is not a good first impression, and you're wasting an opportunity to capture and book an appointment to go run an estimate. Okay, so lack of loyalty. This is where it comes down to. A lot of contractors that I talk to, they say, oh, well, if they're really interested, they'll leave a voicemail or they'll answer when I call back or miss the call. Unfortunately, the data just does not tell that story. Okay, if you don't answer your phone, then you could miss, your percentage chance of actually getting that job goes way down. Because what are they going to do? They're online or they're driving and they see a billboard or whatever. They have a need for your service. If you can't help them, they're just going to call the next person if they can't get in touch with someone. And for some of the home services, like if they have a plumbing problem, an electrical problem, if their HVAC goes out, if something starts leaking, it's an emergency. So they're just going down the list. They're calling every company they can. And it's a lot of times the first one that answers wins in that situation. But even if it's not, even if it's like a remodeling job or something like that, if they call you and you don't answer, it goes to voicemail, and maybe your voicemail is professional, maybe it's not, then they call the next company. They answer right away. They answer their questions. They book the appointment. They've just set themselves so far ahead of you because they provided a great customer experience. They got the appointment booked. They may get a couple of appointments booked and then they just blow you off and they don't even answer your return call. So you've got to have something in place to make sure that every single phone call gets answered. Okay? And doing all of that is going to produce you a higher return on investment because if you can get it, you're already spending the money on marketing or advertising. So you've got to maximize every single opportunity so that you can turn them into a job and get that return on your investment. The difference between a 20% close rate, 30% close rate can have massive impact on your bottom line numbers. Okay, so let's talk about a few ways that you can make sure this is no longer a problem. If you're a contractor and you're out there and you're doing a million things, you're checking on jobs, you're working on jobs, you're meeting with customers, there's just no way you're going to answer your phone 100% of the time. There's just no way. So a couple of options. You can set up a really good call tracking program where it can route your calls so that if you're available, you can answer, but if not, it can reroute to maybe an answering service. And there's lots of answering services out there. And what you want to do with those is just make sure that you're providing them as much information as possible, all the common questions that get asked, and ways to answer those. And you have to work with them and train them. But you want to have some type of option, some type of answering service if you don't have a dedicated employee to do it, that makes sure during normal business hours you are always answering the phone. I guarantee that will get you more leads, more opportunities to run estimates, and more jobs producing a higher ROI. This is Chris Crawford with Home Pros Academy. If you got value out of this video and you want to learn more about what I do, click the link and check it out. Thank you.